at the bar at KJ Saloon, having shots of pickleback. I was feeling okay, I was feeling just fine. I was looking, he was looking back. He was walking my way, about to ask me to dance, and I thought, hell yeah, this is my chance. She came out of nowhere and grabbed him by the hand, and I thought, oh damn girl, well I can't go back to Georgia. Had a run-in with the law, and my big old sexy rambling man is the last thing I saw. And if I go back to Georgia, I'ma end up behind bars, and I won't be able to lay on my back. My baby ain't counting stars. Oh no, no. Oh no, no, no. Oh no, no, no. Oh no, no, no. Oh yeah, I was standing in the middle of the hardwood floor, Lord, I was getting hot. So I pulled out the little white hand that my grandmama gave me when I was just a child. And I flipped off the safety and I pulled back the trigger and I shot that bitch in the thigh. Then I ran out the door, man, 100 million men couldn't have held me back. My, oh my, you can't go back to Georgia. Had a run-in with the Lord, and my big old sexy red bullet man is the last thing I saw. And if I go back to Georgia, I'ma end up behind bars, and I won't be able to lay on my back. My baby ain't counting stars. Oh no, no, no. Oh no, no, no. Oh no, no, no. Oh no, no, no. Well, I stopped in my tracks and I turned to look back. He was standing in the doorway. Ooh, he said, come back if you can, 'cause I'm your man, and I miss you like the sunshine, boo. But I can't go back to Georgia. Had a run-in with the Lord, and my big old sexy rambling man is the last thing I saw. And if I go back to Georgia, I'ma end up behind bars, and I won't be able to lay on my back. My baby ain't counting stars. Oh no, no, no. Oh no, no, no. No, 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 no. Oh no, no, no. Oh no, no, no. No, no, no. Ooh.
Woo! Hey y'all, it's Lil Red. Thank you, Veronica, for that pretty song. Spunky. How's everyone doing? I hope you're all good tonight and had a good Sunday. We're fixing to have fun. I want everyone to say hey to Aaron. Hey, Aaron.
Hey, Aaron.
Hey.
Or EKC, People Suck, is how y'all probably know her.
This girl got the digits. I am so looking forward to tonight.
Yes, me too.
I don't know how you guys do this. Like, pay attention to the chat and talk at the same time.
You just worry about you. We got the chat down pat for you, girl. We'll let you know if anyone says anything to you, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, if you have something to say to Aaron, at her.
Make sure you highlight at her and we'll relay the message for her.
But she is in the chat as
EKC People
EKC People Suck. She's the mod. She's got a ranch. So you'll have to at the EKC. And do you want to start, Aaron?
Sure. Okay. Now, I don't know if you want to pull up the text or what. Oh no, wait. You know what? I know what I
You want to give a little bit of
intro. When she told her story in the beginning of September, I mean, I you know, like everyone else, I heard it and everything, and I did. I felt so bad for her. But then when she started, it seemed like she got off her story really quick and just was really gunning for this police officer in this police department. And that got to me. You know, I thought either she's telling the truth, in which case this department should know, or she's lying, in which case this department should know. And she herself even like tagged the police department in her tweet. So I sent another email. I collected like all the things she was saying on social media and the videos and stuff, and made a Google Drive folder, and I sent it to the police department. And just over a few weeks, it became. I mean, I got a response. I'm not going to go into details about that or anything though. But it became apparent to me that the police department had no idea what the hell she was talking about. Like, they they weren't guilty of like any of the things she was accusing them of. So and through the I don't know, just I ended up realizing that, I don't know, this needed more attention. So there ended up being a records request, and it was granted. And basically that's it. So I mean, like, I ended up obtaining a lot of information about the case file. I want to make it clear, though, that the information I found does not in any way prove whether or not she was or was not assaulted. That's not the case here. If anything, it doesn't really change anything. She could have very well still have been assaulted, and I'm not suggesting she wasn't.
Yeah, that's not even what it's about.
Yeah, right, exactly. I'm not touching that, and I don't want to. But there's a lot of lies and inconsistencies with just her version of things leading up and then afterwards. That's it. And it's also mostly just about the police department, because she was accusing them of not even like making an effort on her case and just writing her off from the beginning. And that's not the case. I mean, they worked for a while and worked kind of hard on her case. But just when like all the evidence came in and everything, the evidence more supported his story than hers. So that's why they closed the case.
All right.
So
Let me share screen. Let's see, I do. Not sure if this will. Okie dokie. It'll be just a second before it pulls over so the chat can see it. Maybe that Dalton went with the first one.
yeah,
And I was supposed to, I didn't
the
take it
images were in order. So yeah.
Yeah, that went with the one I took off.
Okay. Well, the image comes up again later on, like I said. That's why I suggested not repeating it.
Okie doke. We can go ahead. Do you want to read? You want me to read?
It's up to you.
You can go if you want to.
Okay. Okay, yeah, on August 2nd, 2018, Katie said in a blog post titled, "Why Rape is the Perfect Crime in the United States. Unfortunately, I don't remember many details of the assault. Nick drugged me and I lost consciousness for more than 12 hours. In the May 2017 blog post, she claims it was over 10 hours. In her September video, she makes the same claims. Well, I went back and looked. She actually says anywhere between 8 and 10 hours. According to the statement she gave officers, she and Nick headed back to her house after 3:30 a.m. and stayed up drinking for at least like 20 minutes. Then she told officers she woke up at about 9 a.m. So 4 a.m. to 9 a.m. is not 10, it's not 8, 10, 12 hours. It's 5 hours. And the thing is, cops and detectives, I mean, timelines are everything to them when they're doing an investigation. I mean, it's the premise for everything. So they're not going to get this wrong. And so later on in the video she did in the beginning of September, the night that changed my life forever, no one believed me. She says, can you scroll up or? Oh, wait. Oh, my video. Okay. She says,
Can I ask a question as a viewer? Now, are these your notes or is this the actual?
These are my notes, but I do have screenshots of the actual notes.
Okay, I just want to clarify.
There are quotes from the police report in these quotes.
Yes. So now the video she said, the video she made in the beginning of September, she says, and he.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, and he, the meaning Detective Mike, said, nope. He said, there's nothing. You're telling me that from 3 in the morning or 2:30 in the morning until 10 in the morning, you have no memory. You're telling me that you have no memory of what happened. That's impossible. So if it didn't take 8, 10, 12 hours, it only took like 5 hours or so, and that's like, likely it was even less than 5 hours, but if it was no more than like 5 hours, then how is it that the cop is still saying, no, you can't tell me that it's impossible for you to lose memory for that long of a time when it wasn't that long of a time? I mean, he would have said that. So,
correct.
Okay, yeah. And it's in a video from September 7th, 2020, the night that changed my life forever. Katie says, and I got so frustrated and agitated, and I was like hyperventilating, crying, and I was like, and then it was, well, you waited 2 days to call us, but she didn't. She waited 3 days. This happened like Saturday night or whatever. Sunday, she says she went to the hospital, and she didn't call until Tuesday, on the 24th.
Okay.
So and so she's saying that the cop is accusing her of waiting to call, waiting 2 days or
Now,
waiting 2 days to call.
your quotes in these comments, the in quotes were what the cop said. Is that what she's saying in her video? The cop said we haven't got to the part where the cops really talk yet, or is that what the cops are saying in the report?
No, yeah, this is what this is her recollection of events. She's saying that, well, you waited 2 days to call us. He left on Sunday morning, and he didn't call us until Monday night. Saying that, they waited 2 days. He's saying he never would have said you waited until Monday night to call us because she called on Tuesday. Now, if you ask the officer today what day of the week she called on, he might not remember. It's been 13 years. But back then, just a couple weeks after this happened, he's not going to get the day wrong. So this is just like, I don't know, I just feel like she's making this part of her experience up. Because there's no cop is going to be this negligent.
Correct.
So, you have, I think I sent you screenshots though of the.
Pull up my email.
Oh yeah, sorry, I sent it to you in a zip file. I don't know if you saw that.
Of her video stuff, or?
No,
someone mentioned in our live chat, where did it go? I'm pulling it back up. Carly Mansiet, I'm sorry if I may go your last name. There's also a video of her saying at one point she didn't want to do it anymore, which sounds more like regret in my opinion. Are you going to go over that a little bit later?
Didn't want to do what? Do what anymore?
Remember when she said in one video she said she didn't want to do it anymore?
Oh, like the.
That in your...
Well, there is something she says along that lines.
Okay.
I didn't write anything out for that because like that has to do with like I don't know. Basically, everything she claims that happened between she and Nick is almost what she reported back then, and everything that she has said in recent videos that Nick has told the officers is pretty much what Nick told the officers back then. And I do have screenshots too that I sent of a lot of what he said. But as far as like the whole assault itself, I kind of left that out. I mean, if anyone else wants to share, I get it, but I don't know. That feels weird to me.
Yeah. And I've got the screenshots. Do they start at the top or the bottom?
I don't know how they.
Okay, so I have a question.
We'll get to
just
it.
Because I'm watching the live chat. Some people are saying, what's going on and what happened? I'm lost. So this is in reference to when KJ said, I'm telling my truth about a time I was SA'd. Do you guys know what means by SA'd? She said she was with a former friend who took advantage of her, basically. And she said she reported it to the police. And she said a number of things where the rape kit wasn't reported or wasn't processed.
And the cop shamed her.
And our lovely EKC, who's also on the call with us, has reached out and managed to get information about that. And that's what we're going over.
Little Red, I just sent you an email that helps. I can send them to you.
Yeah, I had to unzip those files, but I have the screenshots now, and
okay.
I'll check the email too. If you want.
Yeah, I mean, if it's easier, I can just send them to you as we go because I have them all right here, like in order and stuff. So
Okay.
I don't know. It's no big deal.
Is this one that we're talking about now?
Yes. Well, it's setting the days. Yeah, like what day it is she called them and everything.
Okay.
Yeah. And it also in that screenshot is included what day it was. She went down to the station to give her interview to the detective.
1 second.
Little Red, you have a new member. Just to make
Thank you, Mrs. Care, my buddy. I love you so good. Even before you remember I loved you. I'm gonna show you a screenshot.
Okay.
I guess it needs to be a screen. Wish you could share two screens at one time. Okay, this is from directly from the case files, May 9th, 2007, at headquarters. I had blank meet me at my station where I advised her of
So
her,
this is the actual police report, right?
yes,
Correct.
where I
Yes.
advised her of of my interview with Mr. Koziak, and I went through the incident with her. Blank said that she wasn't there that night and can't remember specifics such as her dog interfering with the couple's attempts to get close, and the fact that Mr. Koziak returned to her house twice after their first encounter. Blank said that what she does remember was that she met him at the VFW, talked to him, and then that's all of that particular screenshot. But it
There's
shows.
there's more of this that I have screenshotted it down below, but just for this, like what we're talking about here, just setting the timeline, that I just want to get the date in there. And yeah, the part below, that's her interview with the responding officer, just Jonathan, we'll call him.
Yep.
And yeah, the reported at 4:24.
I actually found the screenshot in the perfect order. There
Oh, okay, cool.
on the email, so you don't have to do that anymore.
So can I ask what KJ referred to this detective as? This so can jog people's memory.
The detective, okay, the responding officer is the one she spoke to first, but the detective, like on May 9th at headquarters, that's the one that she says accused her of lying, accused her of being a slut, accused her of being spiteful and vengeful and trying to get revenge because I don't know, I guess she wanted to be this dude's girlfriend or some shit. And and also this is the detective, she says, that kept throwing it into her face about, oh, what a good family he comes from. He can't be guilty of this and whatever.
Right.
So, and that's kind of what really just kind of struck a chord with me. Just, I mean, I know like police departments have been guilty of shit like that, but I mean, this was 2007. This was a city police department too. This wasn't like some out in the country like sheriff's department or something, you know. So it just
this was St. Paul's police department.
No.
Is that correct?
This was St. Louis Parks.
St.
Or
Louis
St.
Park. Okay.
Yeah.
So which
But
is a suburb of Minneapolis, St. Paul, right?
Right, but I mean, it's still a city. You know, it's not like a town or village or something. It's still a city.
Just clarifying for the crowd. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I never even heard of the city before either, but but I mean, it just, I mean, I don't know, like if they were so sophisticated at the time, like they had like a special victims unit or anything. It doesn't look that way, but I mean, they're not going to be pulling shit like this where they're just writing everyone off. You know,
Right,
they're not protecting people like that.
So this is Sergeant Mike, right?
Yes, I don't know if he's sergeant.
It was detective is what she always called him.
Mike. Detective Mike, okay. I just want to refer to him as KJ referred to him.
And this is the first one of that, the May 8th. This is the beginning, right, Aaron?
Yeah, yes, this was before he spoke with Katie. Detective Mike was just trying to get in touch. Yeah, he spoke with Nick first and then spoke with Katie. So he was trying to get Nick's side of the story because the responding officer, you know, obviously got her side of the story. So, and he was saying, I met with, you know, his mom. She told me that John is living with a girlfriend in Maplewood and phone number. And then he called John, and John wanted to meet with him like right away. So they met like an hour later in some park next to the police station, I guess. And then he gives his account of or he gave John's account of like what happened, and he even goes on to say like everything leading up to the event in question is pretty much they're pretty much on the same page there. Nick says, you know, yeah, that's true. We went to the party. This happened. You know, so.
Right.
But there are some things though that about the events leading up to it that Katie has changed herself throughout the years, like big changes. That's kind of that's what I wasn't expecting that, but that caught my attention.
Did that did share, right? Or no?
Yeah, well, there's a picture on the screen.
Let me see if this works. Okay, that was there. Give me 1 second. Let me see if the delay. I might have to it sucks. I have to
Okay, so I do have a comment, and Janae Foster says, consent can be withdrawn at any time, even in the middle of sex, which I completely agree.
Absolutely. We're not
we're going over the police report.
We're not talking about whether or not the sex was consensual at all. That's not the issue here.
Yeah.
At all.
I exactly. Yeah. There's nothing in here anyways to suggest one way or the other. So I mean, it's not going to provide any additional insight. It doesn't.
I believe this is where we're at.
Okay. Yeah.
You want me to go?
Yeah. Go ahead.
According to this,
the next.
have you read?
We read that, didn't we? Yeah.
We did.
If you need me to read anything, just let me know, okay?
In the video uploaded September 7th, the night that changed my life, Katie says, and I got so frustrated and agitated. Did we read this part? That I was hyperventilating, crying, and then it was, yeah, we did read this, where you waited 2 days to call us. Why did it take so long? Yeah.
We're on the next one then. Yeah.
Except she waited 2 days to call until April 24th, 2007. Again, no detective is going to get the day wrong like this in the beginning of an investigation. Maybe today he wouldn't remember Monday or Tuesday, but back then, no officer is going to forget.
Right. The next part definitely we didn't do yet.
In the use my video from last month, Katie says, and then people started making drinks. I remember somebody made me a drink, but I wasn't really wanting anything because I had been drinking beer that night. And they were making me like a vodka cranberry, and I just wasn't into that at all. And I got really tired. Okay.
Yeah,
so I have a question from the chat, if you guys don't mind me interrupting. Real quick, Bob and Carrie Kennedy asked, was Officer John or Detective Mike the neighbor she talked about in the video?
No, the neighbor, what she said in her video was that she has a neighbor who is partners with Detective Mike. So Detective Mike is not a neighbor, but yes, the detective is the person she was referring to when speaking about her neighbor. She says that her neighbor is Detective Mike's partner. I have no idea if that's true.
Okay, sorry about that.
Okay.
You ready for me to read some more?
Yeah. Well, just the except in 2007 part.
I'm sorry. Except in 2007, Katie told the officer that she had one drink at the after-hours party that she made herself, and it was a vodka and Red Bull.
Yeah. So I mean, now her story is, she doesn't remember who, but somebody made her a drink, but she didn't really want it because she'd been drinking beer and it was vodka cranberry or whatever. But in 2007, she told the officer that yes, she did have a drink at the party that she made herself, and it was vodka Red Bull.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and yeah, there's a screenshot of that too. I sent.
Can I read a comment real fast from the chat?
Yeah,
So we get all perspectives of this.
Mm-hmm.
We have Jayhawk Forever 123 saying it's actually very common for police officers to victim shame. Many women aren't believed, so they don't report. After a trauma, it's also very common not to remember details. Which could be the case, but we're just presenting the evidence that we have.
There's more.
But the thing, I don't see where he's victim shaming her. As we go on to,
there's more.
Yeah, he gives some insight of why he reached to, why he closed the case, I guess you could say. And I have no doubt that some things won't be recalled correctly. I mean, that's going to happen with anyone, no matter what you're talking about. Every human's memory is faulty. But it's not just that she forgot certain things. I mean, here she is saying that she's trying to insinuate that someone made a drink for her and someone might have, she's trying to suggest that that's what happened at the party when that's not what happened. She made her own drink. It's things like this. I mean, this isn't just I forgot something. This is a whole different narrative.
Yeah, a whole different story. The other day it let me switch windows. I'm pretty sure. And it won't let me do that.
I mean, we can go through all the text and then we can do the screenshots. It doesn't matter. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know.
if that's
I'm
easier.
going to request that the chat holds their questions to the end so we can go through this in one solid. And then we'll ask questions at the end. I think that's a better idea.
And wrong one. Oopsie. Maybe this will be right.
I don't even know how to use.
I have a delay, like crazy.
Okay. Yeah, I know it's coming up like on one screen before the other because I'm watching like the chat on my iPad and the rest of it the video on my computer.
And yeah, every time I pull this down, I have to go find the where we're at again.
Okay, so why don't we just go through the text then, and then just like show the screenshots?
Okay.
I mean,
In the same video, this is the video of her interview. Katie says they ordered like 4 pizzas. I mean, the fact that I can remember that, I can remember sitting in Seisha's kitchen, and my friend Stephanie was there, my friend Paul was there, Seisha was there, Nikki was there, and I was sitting in there with Nick, and then Stephanie, and then all this pizza comes in, and I remember eating a couple pieces of pizza, and then after I ate the pizza, I was like super tired. Except in 2007, Katie told officers she had 1 hot dog with a bun, 1 without a bun, and 1 slice of pizza. She also makes no mention to the officers in 2007 about being suddenly very tired after the drink she made herself or after the hot dogs and pizza. Stop me if you want to say anything.
no.
In this same video, Katie says, and I know, like, and the funny thing is, I'm a scorned lover, but I didn't want his phone number. Laughter. I didn't want your phone number. I didn't want to ever talk to you again. I think the detective is still there. I tagged them on Twitter, so we'll see if they respond. More laughter. I said, I have a really large platform, and everyone's going to know what you guys did. Laughter. Sorry. I remember that.
Yeah,
Hush,
this next part though. Yeah.
Yeah. Except in the 2007 report, Katie told officers, no, when he left, or when I woke up and I saw that he was gone, it just seemed very suspect to me, and I thought maybe he would have left some contact information, but he didn't.
So I mean, yeah. So if that's what she told the initial officer, the responding officer. So right off the bat, she's saying this. So if the detective did question her about this, then he's only questioning her own words. He's not coming up with this shit on his own.
Right.
So.
Sorry, Cash is trying to figure out why there's voices coming out of the box beside of me.
And can we also say that that's not the detective and Katie in a room alone. It was recorded by video camera, right?
Yes,
it was.
As well.
The interview was recorded. However, because it was recorded, it has sensitive data, so that's not it's not available to the public.
Right. So you got a transcript.
Right. I got a transcript of the initial report, and I got the detective supplementary reports. Yes. Which is basically just a quick version of what it did in the
And
interview.
for anyone who's upset that we pulled up KJ's police report, just remember all the police reports.
Yep.
And I've got those too. I can pull them up later.
So
yeah, I mean,
this is us doing the same thing that KJ has been doing.
And again, I never ever would have even considered. It never would have came to mind until like she started talking, making all these accusations against the police department. I mean, she doing that causes so much harm that you don't even realize. I mean, if there are any current or future victims in St. Louis Parks and they heard her story, I mean, they're already going to be reluctant to come forward. And then they hear her story, they're sure as hell probably not going to come forward. So, I mean, that's going to hurt the victims, and that's going to leave perpetrators out on the street longer. So that's going to hurt the community.
Right.
It was so irresponsible to me. I couldn't believe it. So I wanted to just point this out. And then I'm hearing just how it's all bullshit. Like, her accusations aren't even true.
The
that's why I did this.
victims tend to not come forward anyway, especially if it's a acquaintance type situation. If it's not a violent assault, they tend to not come forward. If someone hears what a terrible police force this is, the stuff she said about that cop, that's going to make them less likely to come forward. And she dragged this cop. And nothing in the transcript or the notes showed that he said anything like that to her, what she claimed. No one called her a slut. You want me to read more?
Yeah, sure.
Let me find my spot. Okay, in the video, thank you for helping me, Katie says, I did everything I was supposed to do. I gave them all the evidence from my house. They took my comforter, you guys. They took my comforter and my sheets, and I never got them back. They took my clothing. They took so much stuff from my house. I've never been told anything about it. Nothing. Police took in her comforter, clothes from that night, pillowcase, and sheets. No, wait. No, they did not take in her sheets to be tested because she told the responding officer that she had already washed her sheets. They also took a condom wrapper, but not the condom, since her dog allegedly ate the condom and she found it in his poop later. That's fun. Her animals love to eat stuff, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
In 2007, Katie told the officer that when she and Nick were back at her house, she had one beer, a Blue Moon standard 12-ounce bottle. That was it. Katie also told the officer that Nick had ample opportunity to spike her drink while at her house when she went to the bathroom, since she left her drink unattended. Her one drink at her house, a 12-ounce bottle of Blue Moon. Katie also told officers on April 24th, 2007, that she retained 4 Blue Moon bottles from that night, 1 partially consumed bottle from her nightstand, and 3 bottles from her coffee table in her living room, as well as a can of Michelob Golden Light found in the kitchen sink. The responding officer took the 4 bottles and the 1 can as evidence. Samples were taken from the 4 bottles, 38 mil, 17 mil, 1 mil, 10 mil, and tested for a controlled substance. None were found. So, if Katie was drugged, it could not have happened while at her house with Nick. Katie told the detective that she had experimented with X in college, so she knows what that drug feels like. Katie told the responding officer that the feeling she felt that night when she said the drug took effect was a feeling she'd never felt before. In the August 2nd, 2018 blog post, Katie said, I felt sober enough to drive myself to the hospital. By the time I got to the hospital, the drugs had worn off. The nurse that performed my kit informed me that the drugs used by rapists metabolized quickly. She told me they probably wouldn't find traces of anything in my blood. Even though I had little memory, I still wanted to report the crime. The next day, I called the police. An officer came to my home, took the report, and told me they'd call me. A few days later, a detective called from the department and wanted to interview me.
Yeah, right there. I want to point out too. She says that after the responding officer came to her house, that a few days later a detective called, but it was over 2 weeks later. It was like 15 days later that he called her and wanted to interview her.
Okay. Katie went to the hospital on April 22nd. The officer was called to her house on April 24th. She met with the detective over 2 weeks later on May 9th.
Sorry, I didn't realize I had that there.
On the Night That Changed My Life video, Katie says, Detective Mike is speaking. Those medications don't stay in your system that long. Nothing will stay in your body that long. Katie, which is not true, by the way, at all.
Yeah, so which is it? Was the nurse right when she said that the drugs don't last that long, they metabolize quickly? Or is the officer, correct in saying that nothing, or is the officer wrong when he says nothing will stay in your body that long, which she says is not true, by the way? It's like she's saying
she's arguing with a nurse who's a professional and a cop who does this for a living.
Right. Well, she's like agreeing with the nurse that it won't stay in her system that long, but she's arguing with the detective when he says the same thing, according to her, when he allegedly says the same thing. So.
Okay. In the Night That Changed video, Katie says, mind you, I was not coherent until 5 a.m. the next day.
No, I'm sorry, that's 5 p.m.
5 p.m. the next day. I went to the hospital that night, and then I finally got some sleep, and the next morning, had to call in sick to work, and then was working with my parents and my best friend, who were encouraging me, along with Rain, to call the police. Nowhere in any of the police reports made in 2007 does Katie mention Rain. In a July 26, 2018 blog post, Katie said, "I have no memory of the assault. The bulk of my attack I learned from my interrogation. In that interview, detectives disclosed that I was 4 times over an 8-hour period, and a span of 8 hours." In the August 2nd blog post, Katie said, "Nick had a detailed account of the entire night. He went as far as to tell the detectives we had sex 4 times." What Katie said in the Night That Changed video from September 2020. So he went to Cub Foods and he bought this KY lube, and he bought the protection. And then he even went over to McDonald's and he went and got an Egg McMuffin. And then he says that he went back to your house and you guys did it 2 more times. And I was like, what? I only remember pushing him off of me once. And he's like, oh no, Nick said that you did it 3 times that night. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, 3 times. How many times has this happened?
Yeah, so I mean, for years it was 4, and now it's 3. I mean, again, like, I know everyone's memory gets a little faulty and stuff over time, but this is I don't know, this is a fact that just would never escape a victim's mind. Just, I mean, in my opinion, I don't know.
In Detective Mike's supplementary report, he says that she suspects Mr. Kozlak put something in her drink when she went to the bathroom. When I interviewed her, she said that she felt herself getting increasingly intoxicated while he was outside getting beer from his car. From the original report, I was under the impression KJ accused Mr. Kozlak of retrieving the drug from his vehicle the same time he retrieved his beer. In her initial report also mentioned the two continued talking.
After he came back in from the car.
After. Hold on, I'm sorry, I lost my place.
This is just
and that she did get up to use the bathroom at least once. I was confused by the timeline KJ presented in this interview.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Can we just remind the chat that we are showing the difference between her recollection in her latest video as opposed to the actual police report that was submitted on her behalf, right, guys?
Right.
Okay.
Right here, though, Detective Mike is like this is when he starts seeing the issues with her timeline, because first she was saying that like she thought that when he went out to the car to get beer, that he also got whatever it was he spiked her drink with, came back in and then drugged her, and then she started feeling intoxicated or whatever. But she tells him, the detective, kind of a different story. So.
Sorry, I muted. Okay. No one mentions Nick's family money, businesses, affluence, prestige, or anything throughout any of the 2007 discussions. However, on this one page, I wonder if Katie ended up mentioning something about a business. At this redaction, it looks like she felt weirded out by Kozlak, leading me to wonder if she was mentioning the funeral homes. However, I'm only speculating. This could say almost anything under the redaction, and that's you talking, right?
Right, yeah, that's me talking, because in the report it says that she felt weirded out by Kozlak, and then there's like a hyphen, and then the next hit line or whatever is redacted.
I would like to say to Tricia, I have reached out to them with no comment.
Huh?
Someone asked, had anyone reached out to the Kozlak or to Nick? I reached out to several of them, and no one had anything to say. But I hear they had something to say to her.
Yeah.
She was told to shut up. She was told to hush her mouth, and she hushed her mouth.
Someone put it really good in the chat right now. It is from Name Edited. They said no one is saying she didn't go through something. They're saying she reported it far differently. And That's what we're doing.
Right, and like when we get towards the end, I mean, I have my opinion on matters, and I do think maybe something did happen, and I have my reasons for thinking that. I think that she just maybe turned this into something much bigger. I don't know.
She made this into a, like, for money or attention and to hurt these people. She's definitely angry with them. I had never, and y'all know that are here every night. No, I never said this didn't happen to her ever,
Right.
and you never will hear me say it. But
Right, exactly.
and I also have screenshots of very similar stuff she's said and done, and reports she's pulled up about victims. So, on the Night That Changed video, Katie says, and it went like this for 3 hours. I was crying, and he just kept trying to tell me that I had made the story up, that it had not happened, that Nick had a story. I did not have a story, and because Nick had a story, and I was a jealous, angry girlfriend that didn't get a phone number, and he left. And I was jilted. My revenge was to call the cops on him. And I'm like, I have had plenty of guys turn me down. I've never once reported them ever. It's doubtful that the detective accused her of being jealous girlfriend, since by now the detective already knew Nick had a girlfriend that he lived with, and it wasn't Katie. In an Instagram post, September 2020, Katie said, I felt sick, my legs were heavy, and I texted my best friend and I said, I think he raped me. She told me to call Rain. She said, don't take a shower, go to the hospital. In 2007, Katie told the responding officer that the first thing I did when I woke up was text message my girlfriend, and she asked me to go downstairs and look around. So I got off the phone with her and went downstairs. Why no mention in 2007 of having told her best friend that she had been raped? No mention of Rain or not taking a shower. Why did she have to get off the phone with her friend if she had texted her friend? Throughout the interview with the responding officer, Katie had to be prompted several times to report information she had already told the officer but forgot to add in the statement. Like, for example, finding the condom wrapper on the floor, the fact that she stated she started her menstrual early and it was very heavy and she had an upset tummy the next day. Is that the end of this?
Yeah, that's the end. Pretty much. The screenshots reveal a little bit more, but yeah, these are the main talking points I noticed.
Okay, and yeah, and we're not, she's not showing the whole police report.
I mean, I'm not trying to keep it secret or hidden or anything like that. Don't get me wrong. It's just, I don't want to be the one responsible for maybe helping create a narrative that she's lying about the events that happened.
Right.
That's my only concern. I mean, I realize I can't control anyone else, but I can control myself. So
I'm trying to get back to the beginning. Window.
Yeah, and
So just so I can clarify, because there are some people who have been victims, right? And they're saying this is something that shouldn't be discussed. We're not denying.
I agree, right? And I'm not
discussing that.
We're saying that there are discrepancies between her story that she gave us in September as opposed to the actual police report.
And if she has a problem with her memory, everyone in this chat is saying that, and I was a victim as a young child. Everyone in this chat, or a lot that I've seen, are saying they have a memory problem. So you don't go on live and call someone out and make statements like they're fact. If you don't remember, you say my memory's foggy, right?
Exactly.
I would.
And exactly. And in the past, when she's like made the Me Too posts and everything, when it came to the police and the police department, she never named the department or the officer. But in these videos that she put out in September, she names the department and she names the officer enough to say Officer Mike. So it's not difficult to find, who this officer was. And she even states in there that she thinks that he's still with the department. So, I mean, she's calling this officer out on, like, incredible allegations with nothing to support him.
And have we stated if he's there or not? Have we stated that part or no? I want to read Crystal for $4.99. We all love you, Lorette. Thank you, ma'am. Love you too. And Rachel W85 for $5. Hey, Red. Hope you're doing well. I hope you are too. I'm glad you are here. Thank you. Okay, this is from the actual police report. These all of these screenshots are right.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
I met with Mary, John's mother. She told me that John's living with his girlfriend in Maplewood, and this is his cell number. I'll never be able to read that.
And of course, they're going to redact any personal information.
Right, yeah.
This is KJ's post.
Not everything they sent me was redacted. I mean, everything regarding her was redacted because they have to. But, like, I did the redaction here of, like, the address and the phone number. And, that's all.
Right. So, statement taken from question, and that's the nightstand right next to the bed. Yes. Question, anything else you can think of? No. You told me earlier that you found a condom wrapper. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, there was a condom wrapper on the side of the bed, by the bottom of the bed, and my underwear was just underneath the bed. And did you know at that point what had happened? She said yes.
Yeah, I'm just pointing out how she had to be prompted. I don't know. And this happened several times. I mean, this wasn't like the morning after either. This was, days late. This was Tuesday. So.
Yeah. I revisited the accusations regarding the drug again with Miss.
Wait, he means Nick. I think he wrote Miss instead of Mr.
Because I told him that his timeline makes a lot of sense and that hers does not. I told him that his account of the evening included details with a dog and the trips to Cub Foods and McDonald's give him credibility in recalling his timeline. I added the only thing that would destroy the statement he gave me was learning that he had lied about even the smallest detail. Mr. K agreed and encouraged me to revisit any detail I had issue with. We discussed accusations of being drugged. Mr. K was adamant that he put nothing in her drink. In fact, he asked how long it would take to test the bottles so that I could confront her with the fact that I found nothing. I told Miss
Red,
Uh-huh.
you might want to let people know who come in. This might have a trigger warning, so you may want to put that in your description.
Okay, I will.
Thank you.
I told Mr. K that I would take the bottles to the BCA and that we would have to be very patient for the results. I took 4 samples Officer Reiger obtained from her home to the BCA for examination. November 6, 2007, according to Mr. Patterson, a forensic scientist, there was no controlled substance detected in the samples. There was not evidence to suggest Mr. K is being untruthful about the evening he spent with her. Something blames her inability to recall the evening on being drugged, as does she the alleged subsequent criminal sexual conduct. Given that there is no evidence to support her statement, in fact, the evidence actually disproves it, I will be closing this case. And these are more of the questions and answers from her interview. Did you have anything else going on with your body at that point? I don't think so. Okay, but you told me, I understand that this is very personal, but you told me that you had a menstruated. Yes, okay. Yeah, I began the first when I first went to the bathroom. I don't want to read that part.
Yeah, it's just a prompting.
It's just about her female time. She went to the hospital for a period.
No, he's just asking her, like, when she woke up the next morning, is there anything else you can tell me that you noticed about your body? Because she had already, like, spoken with him before he started taking the report, and she mentioned these things, and so he's just, like, prompting her to, mention them again.
Okay.
I just want to mention this. We realize this is a very sensitive subject. Remember, we're not ever denying anything she's gone through. We are just reporting inconsistencies.
Yeah, I'm also going to suggest, because I think I sent you, like, all the screenshots that I had. I mean, everything's redacted. It's not that, but you may just want to just check out, read them before you put them up, just in case, because there might be something in there that we're not really covering.
I don't think that's big enough for them to read it anyway.
Okay.
At some point he offered to give you some beer that he had out in his car. Is that correct? Yes. And you told him that you already had beer inside here and that it was okay if he drank that, right? Yes. All right. And did he insist that he go and get his beer from the car, out of his car? Yes, he insisted because he said that my beer was more expensive and he'd had cheap beer in his car that he could drink. Okay, so when he went outside, about how long was he there? About 10 minutes. Did you find that to be odd? Yes. All right, and what happened when he came back in? He had 4 cans of beer in his arms and something else, but I don't remember what it was. And these were Michelob Golden Light. Yes, cans. Okay, and at what happened after he came back inside with these beer? He came in and we sat back down on the couch and he began making advances at me while we were sitting on the couch. What do you mean by that? Like kind of touching my shoulder. He put his arm around me. Were you receptive? I told him I was, but I wasn't. Okay, and what do you remember after that? I had to blow this one up because I can't see it. It's weird, I gotta go zoom out to make it bigger. It's crazy. On May 9th, 2007, at headquarters, I had meet me at the station where I advised her of my interview with Mr. K, and I went through the incident with her. She said that she wasn't there the night and can't remember specifics such as her dog interfering in their attempts to get close and the fact that Mr. K returned to her house twice after their first encounter. She said that she does remember that she met Mr. Koziak at VFW, talked to him outside the bar, and had him accompany her to her friend's house where she joined them. I'm not sure. She says Blank must have picked up on the smell of marijuana upstairs and that he spent his night comfortable with fellow pot smokers. She said that she took Mr. K up to his offer of a ride home and invited him in once they got there. Said in her original report of Officer Rigger, she suspect Mr. K put something in her drink when she went to the bathroom. When I interviewed her, she said that she felt herself getting increasingly intoxicated and went outside while he was outside getting beer from his car. From the original report, I was under the impression she accused him of retrieving the drug from his vehicle at the same time he retrieved his beer. Her initial report also mentioned that two continued talking after he came inside and that she did get up to use the bathroom at least once. I was confused by the timeline presented in the interview. It seemed to conflict with the original report. I asked if she ever used the type of drug to enhance sexual experience, and she said that she experimented with X in college. I called Mr. K and told him I had a long talk with her and asked if he would mind a few additional questions to clear up some confusion. He was very cooperative and told me to ask as many questions as necessary. I asked him what he could recall about state of intoxication around the time he went to his vehicle, how long he was outside getting his beer, and what he remembered about any bathroom trips took while he was over at her house. He said that there was no way he was outside of her house for 10 minutes, as she estimated. He said that he was at his car long enough to grab the beer cans and was right back inside with her. He said that they talked for a while and then remembers her going to the bathroom. He said that he remembers her trip to the bathroom quite well because she felt she was most likely doing like some girls do before having sex. He said that they had already had some flirtatious moments by then, and he was led to believe that she might be preparing to take the night to the next level of intimacy. He said that he assumed nothing, however, and talked with her for more than 20 minutes before she asked him to go upstairs. He remembers very specifically that the bathroom trip was well after the few minutes he went out for his own beer, and there was very little time between the bathroom trip and the trip upstairs. Mr. K's timeline is accurate. Her claim that I've got to back out. Oops. And I went to a different one. This is where she woke up and it's more questions that we've already read. How many were there? We might have already.
I just wanna for anybody who got here late, what we're discussing is that this is the actual police report from when KJ met with a Detective Mike, right? After her alleged SA that she did a video about in September.
And again, I'm not at all doubting that something happened, and there's no information in the report that supports or denies her claim. It offers no additional insight whatsoever. So in my mind, that remains unchanged. I don't know. And also too, like you mentioned earlier how you reached out to like the family or whatever, and not just the family, but like everyone's been so silent on that side, which I find that suspect. I really do, because I mean, think about it. If you were innocent in all this and these claims were being made, I don't know. I just can't imagine someone. I'm not saying he's guilty. I'm not. But I just find it suspect that there's been nothing from that side, nothing at all, and we know that they're aware of it.
This video
yes, uncovering. She's going to be pissed when she finds this out, and maybe she'll think about that before she gets police reports on someone else.
So what we're doing is showing the inconsistencies between her video in September and the actual police report, right? I just want to clarify for everybody. Okay.
Yes.
Right.
And it's not just, I never heard her in her video say, I have trouble remembering, but this is what I remember, which is how I tell my story. Always. Like, I don't remember exactly. That's always been what, if I ever told my story, which I don't talk about,
she brags about her wonderful memory, and it's just, it's not. So.
Yeah. So, a lot of this we've, I think, read. This is about the.
Oh no! This part is this? I can't really see
this starts with the VFW just before closing.
I wonder. One of these though is showing the last name there and then the hyphen. Like I mentioned, like maybe this is where she brought up the family businesses. I'm not sure which screenshot.
She mentions the limousine in here.
I don't think this one was it though, because I want to say after the hyphen it was like a longer redaction than any of these lines are showing.
Hold on, let me look through.
Let's see, what do mine show?
I saw limousine in here. She pushed her dog off the bed several times, taking the comforter at one point and sort of laughing and joking about the dog's behavior. Mr. K said that he was actually getting quite irritated by the dog and was about to leave.
You may not want to readdress to that. I don't know.
Okay. Oh yeah.
There's one screenshot. It's smaller than this one and starts with a redaction block, and then it said that by 16:30 hours, and then there's a long redaction bar a few lines down. That's the one I'm talking about. The last name and the hyphen. It says she told me that she waited until today to contact the police because she felt quote unquote weirded out by the fact that last name and then a hyphen and then this long redaction. So I don't know if that's her mentioning a business, like I said, but it looks like maybe. But either way, this is the only mention I find in any of this regarding this family business or anything, and this isn't even, a guarantee.
And this is her. This one on the screen right now is her. Okay, is there anything else? Did you have any contact with him after this incident? No, when he left, when I woke up and I saw that he was gone, it seemed very suspect to me. I thought maybe he would have left some contact information, but he did not. And before we took this statement, we've packaged up some items that I'm going to take with me today, and that's a comforter from your bed and some pillowcases, and those have not been washed between this incident. Is that correct? Correct. And then I've also gathered up the shirt that you were wearing and the skirt and the underwear as well. And then the other bottles were the Blue Moon. Is that correct? Yes. And the bottle of Blue Moon that was on the nightstand next to your bed, that was empty? No, it was at least 3/4 of the way full. Okay, and did you hang on to these balls and cans? Yes. All right, and you told me earlier that you had washed the sheets on your bed. Is that correct? Yes. This we've read.
Yeah, the screenshot. We read everything in the screenshots. I just provided them just to show that this was actually said in the report.
Okie dokie.
So, yeah, I mean, I think, in my opinion, I think something did happen. I think maybe she was more intoxicated than she realized, and maybe he took advantage of that, or maybe he was intoxicated too. I don't know. But I do think something happened. I don't think she was drugged.
No, you can't give consent if you're drunk.
Right,
Obviously.
exactly.
But this is about the police department getting dragged, and that detective being accused of slut shaming her and victim shaming her, and the whole police report did not say that. The interview did not say that. He did not say that.
And the evidence, like when the lab test came back and everything, it didn't support anything. So and she's claiming that like none of her stuff was tested. It just was just dropped.
Well, this is something I wanted. Dropped. I've always wanted to say this, and I think, did you say it was in the police report? Whether or not they may have done that kit. I don't know.
Right.
But if they, what was it going to prove? Because it wasn't like she said that he's saying it didn't happen. He openly admitted that something happened, and there was.
And she did too. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So they're doing a rape kit and actually processing it is not going to prove anything that they don't already know. It's not going to prove the intent behind it or the manner of
the circumstances.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
And there's one part too in the video she made in September where she says that the officer, she alleges that the officer kind of said to her, dude, I'm very good at my job. I get murderers to confess all the time. You don't think I can get, an hour to confess?
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And I think this is something though that she does in other situations where she'll take something that was said, but she'll change the entire context or narrative to fit something different. I think it's possible that the detective did say something to her along the lines of listen, I don't want you to worry. I'm very good at my job. Okay, this is what happened. I'll get it out of them. And that she just read it to be something else because she heard if this is what happened, and I think she realized she was not going to be able to manipulate the situation. Maybe, I don't know, and that she then started lashing out at this detective and making all these accusations.
Right.
So, I mean, that's not to say that something didn't happen. That just is to say that she's upset that she's not getting undeniable, I don't know, faith in everything that she's saying from the people that hear her.
Right. And I'm trying to I'm trying to take out some, hold on one second. I'm trying to get some more screenshots that are just showing. How is that one there?
Just remember, everybody, we're not saying nothing happened. We are not taking away her truth. We are just showing the discrepancies between her story that she put in a video in September as opposed to the actual police report, which was videotaped. If I'm saying that correctly, EKC, right?
Well, the interview is videotaped, yes. I don't have the video, though. I mean, that's not for public viewing, but yes.
But I just want to, just so it wasn't her and a detective in a room.
Right, exactly.
There were other eyes on this as well. So we are not taking anything away from her. We're just showing inconsistencies.
Even she says that there was a video, that he set up a video camera in that room.
Oh, did she?
The detective did, so.
I missed that part.
In one of her videos, she said it. The September videos.
Okay, I'm give me a second. Okay, I'm gonna share something else real quick. Just a couple screenshots.
And we understand this is triggering for some people. We don't want to trigger anybody. So
No, definitely
if it's
not.
really bothering you, we suggest that you maybe step away from this. But this is something we feel like we had to bring to the table.
And I don't want people to hear her narrative about the police department and think that that's the case. That's my personal vested interest in this. I want people in that community, if they feel they have something to report, I want them to at least feel safe enough to report it. I don't want her to take that away from that community.
Yep. Okay. I'm going to read. This is a Facebook post, I think, from her. Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar lied during Megyn Kelly's interview. They said that Josh only ever touched the kids over their clothes. This is not true. Jim told police that Josh did this under the clothes and was even caught doing it to one of his sisters when he read a book to her. The girl ran into the laundry room crying and told an older sister, who then told their parents. This is all his interview and an anonymous email. They greatly minimized what Josh did, and so many people believed it. The fact that he would lie about something like this, it shouldn't be a great leap that he'd steal money from his adult children. Great. And here are
well read and EKC. People ask me why are we doing this?
Here are police reports that she pulled on a child that got touched as a child wrongly. What did you say? Who said that? Who asked that?
That was Christine Miller. She wants to know, why are we doing this?
Because the stuff in the police reports, from what has been uncovered, the police department thought about going after her for all of these videos. The reason they stopped is because his family reached out to her and shut her up, is what we were told, or what Aaron was told.
I was told by an interested party that they were looking at, I don't know, maybe the cease and desist, whatever, something, because they knew that these accusations were false against the officer, but the whole thing just kind of like it went away as quickly as it came about. So basically at that point, if they did kind of go after her, just to shut her up, I mean, she was already shut up, so they're only going to drag more attention to it than what would happen without it. So they decided just to let it alone, leave it alone, out of sight, out of mind. Let's not, poke the bear or whatever.
And because we're showing her problematic, persistent patterns of behavior where anything she has a story for everything. She went after this man, his family, uncles, aunts, his grandpa's funeral home for burying somebody. She doxed a whole nother family yesterday, 4 people. What she does is not right. She didn't say on any of her stories her memory was kind of bad. But here,
and she basically accused the detective of not doing.
Yeah, that is the main reason that's the main reason that Aaron did this, because she accuses the police department of victim shaming her, and if you live in that district and you've been raped, you're already probably less likely to report it if it's a what's it called, acquaintance rape, like a date rape, which is what that would be considered, even though it wasn't a date. So if you think the police department is crooked or bad, are you going to report it?
No, you're definitely not. That's just going to
That's why we're doing this.
Yeah.
We don't think she's lying. No one said that. We don't like the way
she was lying.
Inconsistencies. That's what we're trying to show.
And I do think she was lying about the officer, and I think the reason.
Oh no, I think she was lying about the officer. I'm saying I don't think she was lying about the other part.
Right. And I think that because no action was taken on her claims, is why she kind of went after the police department. She was angry, and I don't blame her for being angry. I would have been too, you know. I don't blame her. It's just, but just because you're angry that things didn't go away that you think that they should have, and maybe even things didn't go away that they really should have gone, doesn't give you a right to then trash all these other people involved who were trying to help you. That's my thinking.
Yeah, and she didn't show all of the police report in this stuff. There was a lot that proved. She said they did nothing. They did not try to
They didn't try
investigate.
to investigate. Yeah.
He absolutely did. And
didn't she say they didn't process her rape kit, but they did?
I don't know if they did. I'm thinking maybe. I mean, they.
what good would it do? Because they
both agreed they had sex, right? Both parties.
Or there was intercourse of some sort.
Right. Yes.
So.
There was sex that was had. Okay.
So yeah, but I mean, like they collected evidence. They submitted it for testing. You know, the officer went back and forth between people and tried to just zero down the timeline. Because, like I said earlier, the timelines are everything for a detective because it's the whole premise of their investigation and definitely the whole premise of any conclusions they reach. So they have to make sure that their timeline is accurate.
And one thing I would like to add as well, she monetized that video.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good point. I forgot about that.
And also, she's been going, okay, I'm sure she's going to be offended or we shouldn't be talking about this or we shouldn't have done this. What about the Duggar girl who was a child when this happened? Why did she have to go get the police reports for that?
The whole Sophie thing.
The Sophie thing. Why is she going after these children? And she was an adult when this happened to her. She showed whole police reports. She doesn't redact information when she shows police reports. She doxed 4 addresses of the Duggars yesterday.
And even still, like all the information that's out there concerning her case is information she herself put out there. So, I mean,
and this is technically public information, correct? What you got?
Right.
Because you are not allowed to get it unless it is considered public information.
Correct. Everything was obtained through the proper legal channels.
Okay.
That's why, their redaction and everything.
I just want to clear this up. For people think that we're digging, we went through the legal resources.
Yeah, we didn't steal them, or they weren't stolen.
And I want to add too that I don't hate her. I really don't. And in fact, while I was going over a few of the things she said in her September videos, over the past couple of days, I was going through stuff. There's something that didn't really stand out to me before that stood out to me this time that I just thought was like one of the most horrible things I ever heard. When she said how she went to the family's restaurant for her parents' anniversary, and she did it because her parents really wanted to go there, and they called the restaurant first to make sure he wasn't going to be there, and he wasn't going to be there, so that's the only time she went there, and she'd never go again. I'm sorry, but what freaking parents do that? I mean, I cannot believe that her parents even asked of her, even wanted to give, whether the parents believe Katie or not, doesn't matter. They wanted to give this family their money.
See, I feel like I missed something. I feel like I missed something in what we presented because that was absolutely a paragraph I read in the papers you sent me, and I didn't read it.
That's in the what's going up on the blog post. That's right. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, let's talk about your blog post. This is why we're here. We're here to promote. EKC has a new blog post, or it's not new.
I just want to mention real fast, True Bella Wax, that was friendly fire. Sorry. Didn't mean to hide your comment.
Sorry, ma'am.
Just want to let you know.
The blog post isn't up yet. I wanted to do the live first, and then when we're done, I'll put it up.
Yeah.
So listen, EKC has a blog.
Yes.
There's a link to the blog, though, on my channel page. So, after 15 minutes after this live is over, whatever, the blog post will be up.
Yeah, Big Bird says, from these reports, I think the police did do their job. That's what we're trying to show. She dragged the police department as, I don't know who else in this, I see several in the chat who are so they have been victims. I have. I was a child, though. I don't know if as an older person that I would have went and told, especially if it was that type of, I was drinking and didn't have a consent, the legal right to consent, whatever. I don't know that I would have ever had the nerve to go to the police, but definitely not if I see a YouTuber saying this police department is going to call you a slut and tell you that you asked for it and you deserved it and you were just a jealous girl. So,
and she put it out to 130,000 people.
Yeah,
that's
why.
On just one platform she did. And also too, if the police department were guilty of this, she could not have been the only person they did this to. So, I mean, why has no one else come forward and said, "Oh my God, I went through that too. They say I had the same experience, with this officer, with this detective, with this department." So,
right.
I don't know.
I agree.
I understand some people may not like what we did tonight. I get it.
I understand too, and
I'm used to it.
Yeah, and they don't. No one. Not everyone has to agree. Not everyone has to like it. Whatever. I get that. I just want my intent to be known. My intent is not to question whether or not she went through something horrific that night. There's no information that supports whether she did or didn't. There's no additional insight. I am not touching it, and I actually believe something did happen to her. So.
Yeah.
But she needs to be consistent in telling that story to 130,000
Yeah,
people.
before you go on a platform that
later.
she called a very large platform. If you're going to go on a very large platform and dox someone's uncles and aunts and grandparents and shame them for burying someone that was a bad person, maybe say your memory's foggy because you think you were drugged. Maybe say you're not sure, but don't say don't brag about how great your memory is, and just don't.
And don't offer yourself to be like a spokesperson for all your viewers. I mean, even in 2017 or 18, I can't remember, she was asking for her readers to send in their stories so she could put them on a public stage or something. Well, if you're going to do that, you need to make sure that your shit's consistent first, because otherwise you're just going to hurt everyone else's credibility in the process. You have to take that seriously. You have to take your advocacy seriously like that. And
right.
I worry
remember
about
watching that video where she made the police detective sound like he was not doing his job at all. It made it sound like he didn't care, he was shaming her, and nothing was done.
Right.
And that really bothered me.
Veronica
so I'm happy to see this part.
Sunday said there's nothing wrong with doing this. It's public records. She does the same thing every day. Thank you. Veronica said the most important thing for me is she expects her audience to trust her when she has no proof, but here is proof, but she ignores it and is dishonest. If the cops really did their job and the way she claims they did, there would have been an internal investigation. All reports are read by multiple departments and none of them escalated it facts. I guess he's saying there would have been more than one person looking at it.
Well, that's true actually, because when I had to learn and understand how investigations work, like the whole chain of command and everything, the whole steps and stuff, in order to know what it was I wanted to have requested. So I actually learned how that happens, like through the supplementary reports, how so many people have to sign off on this, and then it's submitted into national databases. So, I mean, this isn't something that they can just, gloss over and cover shit up and lie about. I mean, it's scrutinized. It really is.
And I do see people in the chat, Carly said, I don't know why she's off limits while everyone else is fair game for her. Exactly. She comes at people daily. Victims, children, medical reports, stuff that shouldn't be online, doxing, addresses, business names, every single day.
And I agree with that. I really do. However, that's not why I went asking for records. I did not do this in a sense of let's see how she likes it sort of thing.
No, that's just me.
But still, you're right. You're absolutely correct. I mean, if you're going to exhibit behavior towards people, you kind of have to expect it exhibited back towards you. But,
Right, and I feel like you felt like when you watched that original video in September, something was off. And you were just like, The police officer didn't do his job. And
Yeah.
that made you look into it further.
Well,
Right.
because
Yeah.
she's known to tell big fibs. I've got to take a break. Just 1 second. Y'all go ahead.
That's fine. Go ahead.
When she did that, I thought, well, either she's telling the truth and the department should know, or she's lying and the department should know. And she herself tagged the department in her tweet. So it wasn't like I was crossing any lines here or anything. So I just sent them an email with, examples of what she has been saying about their
Right.
officer. And it
Right.
was throughout some correspondence after that with some people that I realized that she was lying here about this. And that's when I decided to look into it further, because
Right.
I didn't think I didn't know if she was lying about the officer to begin with. I thought she might be,
Right.
but I didn't know. But when I did kind of sense that you realized she was lying, that's when I went into it further.
Right. And
So
it's just it's messy, right? She has a platform. We all agree. She has 130 some odd thousand subs. That's a rather large platform to put out misinformation to. And
exactly.
our goal is to make sure that people understand the inconsistencies between what she says and what actual evidence says.
Right.
And this has nothing to do, was she RAPED, was she not? This is all about what she said in September and what the actual police report says she said.
Right. And honestly, I don't want to say this as because I'm afraid it might sound like I'm discrediting her story, but I'm not. But even if I did suspect she was lying, I would never. I would rather be wrong for believing her than wrong for accusing her of lying. But
Agreed.
I don't
Agreed.
want that to sound like I'm discrediting her story, because I do actually believe that something happened, and
Right.
I just don't know what, but I don't
All
know.
we ask is you don't lie about it 13 years later. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. And
Just don't lie about it.
don't drag the not just like innocent parties involved, but people who were actually trying to help you, who were investigating this for
Right.
you. Don't, throw them under the bus because shit didn't go the way you wanted it to go, or maybe shit didn't go the way it should have went. I don't know. But just don't do that.
And don't drag in all these other businesses that have nothing to
Right.
do with the person in question. They are part of their family. That doesn't mean they were involved in the crime. So why are you dragging them under your platform where all these people can contact them and give them bad reviews? And
Yeah, and
just,
throughout when this happened, she even made a post on Facebook or comment or whatever saying how her brother-in-law or something is a registered offender. And so, all right, then how come like his victims or whatever aren't throwing you under the bus then right now because you're related?
Right. So, I added trigger warning to the title, so people know not to watch if they're going to be triggered. And that Amber said the way she told this story was wrong. There was no exaggeration needed, no lies needed. Suzanne said exaggeration by her all the way around. Tammy, after she was covering her butt for calling Sophie a brat. That is what, it was right after this that she came out with the story, correct? When people were
Yes, it
after
was.
her?
yes, it was.
Yeah, I think that might have had. I mean, she had already kind of set this narrative before September, just not in quite so much detail. So I don't think that that's what inspired her to make all these crazy accusations. But yes, that I do think that that is what inspired her to share everything again, and then and share on YouTube.
Right.
Right, and how many times did she write a blog about this? I believe this was in a blog at one time. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yes, it was. There were actually 3 posts. I don't know. I can't remember. Like 2 were. I think 2 were on Patheos, and 1 was on her website.
Okay.
Her website is now deleted. Like all 3 posts can only be reached or whatever through the Wayback Machine. So.
Okay. All right.
I'm looking Angry Yank's last post. At least 3 up to 7 departments come across these reports, and if there's anything that shows a discrepancy, it is escalated to an investigation department, period. Yes, I agree. I didn't know that it was 3 to 7, but I knew that it went further.
Yeah, there's a lot of different eyes involved in every report, from my understanding. So.
The thing that bothered me is she put this up as a monetized video. Is this for clicks and views?
Well, I mean, even if she did it for monetization, she could have set it up as like a donation thing. I mean,
I agree.
I don't think anyone's gonna give a shit for that. But I mean, yeah, she put it up to make profit.
Oh, and then she said, "But I'm donating $500 to Rain or whatever," but she made more than $500.
Oh yeah.
All
right, it's my turn now to take a break. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I really think Erin did a fantastic job.
I do too. And for the people who are not happy about it, we knew this would happen. All I hear is have receipts, have receipts. I get receipts. Right. It still can't make everyone happy. So, you know.
It's kind of how the world works, right?
We are not here.
Can't make everyone happy.
Yeah. And everyone that's reached out to me today and asked, we are not trying to say that this didn't happen to her. People do have, there's people with a lot of opinions. I will not make a statement on my opinion other than I'll never say that she was not a victim. I will never say that. She did not have a right, in my opinion, to do what she did to this man's family. Him, maybe. His family, no.
His family's businesses.
Detective Mike, no. Who he is still at that department. The whole police department looked criminal, in my opinion.
And you, let me just refresh to make sure I heard it right. You said that they tested for Rohypnol, correct?
They tested all of the beer bottles and cans in her house because they know how long. I read a little bit more than y'all did. They know how long it takes for it to kick in, and just by her timeline, and she knew that he did it at her house. They tested all of the alcohol. I mean, the report had how many mils was in each bottle. There was no drugs in any of the alcohol bottles at her house.
Okay, I just want to make sure that point was drilled home.
Right.
Because she claimed she was roofied. Or some kind of drug was put in her medication. I just want to relay something that was messaged to me. Apparently KJ was on live at the same time as us.
Of course.
And she was pulled off of it by Todd rather
I'm
abruptly.
Sure. Hi, Katie. S.C. Johnson said, I'm a survivor, and her story pisses me off because it's not true. She talks about it like she's going out to buy a loaf of bread. Yes, it's a trigger, and she was laughing. That's another thing. And when Erin transcripted her videos so we didn't have to watch her, she was laughing about it. She was laughing about she hopes the police department gets what they deserve. That's not the word she uses, but I think she was, I kind of agree with you, Tammy. I think she was just really drunk. But according to the law, that's you can't conceal when you're drunk like that.
Right. And
so,
yeah, and that alone is enough. I mean, I'm not. That doesn't just take away anything of her story.
No,
because if that's the case, then her story still stands. As far as I'm concerned.
Right, because there's people
We're
in the chat. There's people in the chat who have said that's a violent rapist that goes out and buys lube and condoms. That's true, but if you're so drunk you don't have the ability to consent, that would make it illegal, according to the law.
Oh, I wanted to ask you guys something. That's right. Totally off topic though, but
okay.
I was Thursday night. I was listening to the live from Wednesday night, and someone said something about how her husband had to send her a super chat
twice
to say goodnight to her kid or something.
2 or 3 times now.
That is the second time that's happened.
Is this? Okay. I thought it was 3. So we must have reported the last one twice.
That I know of.
Every time I saw this or heard about this, I thought for sure it was a troll or something putting.
No, it was Todd.
It's really
him.
The first time
her husband.
The first time it was on his birthday. Him. It was on his birthday the first time with a wrench, and she didn't get up and leave. Was it the night before his birthday?
Yes, she did. She got up and
the
went.
First time. I don't think she did. Oh, I thought she ended the live shortly after.
Third then. Because she's gotten up twice to go say goodnight.
I know the
I
last
can't
time
believe
she
it's
got
really
up.
him.
I know.
I
What'd
can't
you
believe
say?
it's really him. Wow.
Because Dad and Vaughn watch Katie talking in bed, and he wants to say goodnight to his mother while he's watching her.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. It's just even if there's this like sweet and like kind of cute story behind it, I would think, wow, this just doesn't look good. Please don't do that.
Right.
I don't know. Wow.
God, we're on with 10 to Life and KJ at the same time. So she got off live, Nurse Kimberly said.
She got off live. Apparently, what I've been told is that there, apparently Todd came to the door. He didn't say anything. That you could hear the door opening, and she said, "I have to end," and she just abruptly ended, and that was it.
Yeah. Feeling kind of breezy said, yeah, it's 100% Todd. She said, my husband just super chatted me. He could have texted her. I guess it's all coming from the same bank account, maybe.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, the kid is watching essay allegations against the Duggars. Oh my God. I agree, Bob and Carrie.
Right.
Well, I mean, if it was
She
my
said he
mom,
was
I guess.
watching on Friday night.
I don't know. If it was my mom, yeah, I'd probably watch no matter what she was talking about. Not all the time, but sometimes. But I don't know. I guess that's not that crazy. But I don't know.
No, it's crazy. That's crazy. That's just crazy. He could have texted her. I mean, it's just when you know that everyone's making claims and talking about you not being there for your kid. I'm not saying that. I'm not making that claim right now.
Right.
But I'm saying when you know that's a big complaint about you, why are you gonna super chat your wife? It's like they want the controversy.
Yeah.
They want it. And I've got to read a super chat for Dodie for $5. Doxing is illegal, especially with police and business. It can be more than a fine. It could be jail time. They could be quietly taking legal action. Exactly. That Amber chick. Everyone, please go hug your kids. Just kidding. I love y'all for $4.99. Thank you. Thank y'all both.
I see name edited asked me, what is your backstory with KJ, if you don't mind sharing?
Yeah.
I don't have much of one with her. I met her, I say met her, but it was all through online. But I met her first in like towards the end of I think 2018. She was big then in like the anti, she was big in the whole like pro-vaccine community, pro-science community and stuff, and going up against anti-vaxxers and stuff, and I was too then, and that's where we met each other. She and I were in this one group together, and then she ended up getting kicked out of the group shortly after, and she asked me about why she was kicked out. I had no idea why. I've since learned just people just didn't really like her. But then after that, she and I were in like several of these other groups, and it was just like one group after another. She was just like burning bridge after bridge after, even a group that she created, she got booted from. I can't go back and pull up her post or whatever because she deleted that Facebook account, but I can see like people's comments and stuff from the time who tagged her, and it just looks like she was just going through and causing trouble, and she was trying to like make herself the victim and everything, and everything was about her, and she's throwing out all these accusations at people, and it's just a lot of the same stuff you see today.
I mean, I bet a lot of her chat, if they had the option to boot her from her own channel and just remain as the chat, I bet a lot of them are there for the community.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Yeah, but she and I, we talked for a few months though through Messenger and stuff, because I was just starting to kind of like write, I guess, put stuff up on blog posts and stuff, and she had been doing it for a while, and we were writing about the same thing. So like I would message her for, hey, do you have anything on this? And she would do the same to me, and then she started this Smoking Nun, and she reached out to me for like some stuff to maybe talk about on that show, and I hooked her up, and and like throughout my time talking with her, I realized quickly I just didn't like her. She did nothing to me personally. I want to stress that. She did not wrong me in any way. I just sensed she was like, she would always send me stuff to share from her, like her blog post. And then when I would send her stuff from ours or from our page, it was,
It was just her stuff.
Exactly.
I want to read Mrs. Kerr said, so do you think the fact that he left and returned, no problem, have any bearing when they couldn't find any substances? No, I don't, and I'll tell you why. She didn't drink his beer. That's in the report. He wanted to drink his beer because it was cheap beer, and probably because she only had 4. I don't know. He brought 4 beer back of his own, and she drank her beer. They tested what she drank, and there was nothing in it. So I don't think that was had anything to do with it. I just think there was no substances that were given to her at her home.
So Chubala Wax asked, her silver play button is missing tonight. Anyone know the backstory? I tuned in for a hot second earlier. She took it off her wall because she said that there's a mirror in part of it. It is glaring from the ring light, so she's gonna find a better place for it.
It looks like tinfoil to me. I'm just gonna say.
Just wanted to say, I actually bopped over there for a hot second.
How much?
What she was talking about.
Does anybody in the chat?
That's what I heard.
Did anybody in the chat see the screenshot? I think it was, I was tagged in it, where you can order them off of eBay for like, how much, y'all? Come on, was it $17?
$100, isn't it?
Is it $7? No, it was not $100.
Not that much?
No.
Wow. Okay, so I got a little inside scoop about her when she ended the chat. Apparently, when the door opened, the dogs were let in, and at that point, she ended the chat, and after the chat ended, or the live stream ended, she said, "Cat emergency," in her chat.
Oh yeah, it probably ate something again that wasn't supposed to eat.
He had a condom.
Like a ponytail.
He had a condom. They'll get it in 3 days.
Scrunchies.
The dog pooped up the condom, y'all. Yes, it was in the police report. The dog pooped up the condom.
Yeah, that's how I learned about it.
Pooped out the condom.
She left that part out.
Beautiful.
Who drove her to the hospital? It said in the police report that by 5 p.m. the next day, she was okay enough to drive herself.
I thought
Yeah,
her
she
mom
said-
took her, didn't she? Didn't she call
In
her?
that's what I was thinking, Aaron. Do you remember in her video?
She said she called her mom, and her mom took her.
She
Am I remembering that right, guys?
in one of the recent videos, I'm not 100% of this, but I know for a fact that she expressed confusion. She couldn't remember if she drove
may not
herself
remember
or
how she
someone
got
else
there.
drove her. You know, she was like going back and forth with it. I don't know what she landed on. I don't remember what she landed on, but she herself was confused. She couldn't remember.
Well, I remember that she went. How long was it later? A year or two later, they had the anniversary dinner there.
Oh no, that was 11 years later.
Okay, that's still, I don't care. If someone raped me, my mom and dad would not want to eat at their restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Can we talk about that condom situation? Because people are confused. They're saying, I had sex 3 times with one condom.
No, he went to the store to buy more condoms.
Let's talk about how there was condom and dog poop, and then how the male went and got more.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where any other additional ones went. It wasn't discussed any further.
So, yeah. Apparently, one showed up in dog poo,
Yes.
and the rest he went and got more.
Well, you know how men are. They'll I like. Never mind. I'm just kidding.
And he went and got egg
He didn't
McMuffins
use them. He
at the
probably
same
didn't
time.
use them.
He had to eat some food. Sorry.
But in the report, it said that he left twice, actually.
Twice?
I didn't share this because it's right in the middle of everything else that I didn't want to share. So I didn't, make it a point to share this. But it just says that he left once, to go to Cubs to get the additional whatever supplies, and then came back, and then I guess they both fell asleep for a little while, and then he woke up and he was hungry, so then he went to McDonald's, and he came back and just like, I don't know, was like, talking with her or whatever, but he could tell that she just wanted to, go back to sleep and keep sleeping, so then he left.
Oh, so I thought we were reading that it was all one trip.
Right. That's what she's been saying. And been saying that she was told it was all one trip, but in the report, the way he himself told the detective back then is that he left twice.
Well, he got up and got the hell out of Dodge the next morning, didn't he?
Yeah, it sounded like though that like he was kind of reluctant, like he would have hung around and kept hanging out with her a little bit or something. But I guess she just was she was tired or whatever, and what was he gonna do? He wasn't gonna go back to sleep. It was already morning, so he left.
Nurse Kimberly, I think she told them, because it was a couple days before she went to the police department or whatever. I think she told them that she had started her whatever not before this, but right immediately after it.
Yeah, the morning she woke up, she says that's what happened. So, like, this happened, like, in the early morning hours of Sunday morning, which was, in my mind, technically, that's still Saturday night. So Sunday morning when she woke up, that's when she, I guess, was experiencing that.
So, any more questions about that? Was he intoxicated? He drove her home, and there was something what was it in the screenshots that I didn't read out loud about keeping leftovers in your car but not beer? Do you remember?
He said that he did drive people around in his limo and stuff, and oftentimes they would leave stuff behind, like beers and stuff, and that's what he had. He had a few beers from some fair or whatever from earlier in the night.
That's how the Midwest works. You just keep some beers in your car.
Yes, and Mrs. Kerr.
Just saying.
Mrs. Kerr did say, let's not forget, and this is correct. It was in the police report more than once. He was proactive in talking with them when detective called him. He wanted to meet immediately, like within an hour. They met at a park. Was it a park?
Yes,
near the police station?
Right near the police department.
So he was.
In the Midwest, we call those roadies, just so you know. Just kidding. Trying to make it light.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing, too. I mean, I don't know. I could be wrong about this, and I'm sure that there's always exceptions regardless. But yeah, if you are like really guilty of something like this and you get a phone call from the police department, I'm not saying that you just like run away or blow them off, but it's not, I wouldn't expect someone to make them that readily available. Like every time. I don't know.
Also, I think like, even though it's not, I know this is a touchy subject. Even though it's not, you can't give legal consent if you're blackout drunk. If this dude left twice to go get food and go get condoms, even though she might not have been able to legally give consent, he may not have known it. Or he may, if he thought he was doing something illegal, would he have left? You know what I'm saying? You can break the law.
Are you gonna stop what you're doing and go out for breakfast first? Yeah.
Right.
I just think it's best that we don't speculate exactly what happened.
No, and I'm not. I'm just saying, know.
I mean, I kind of speculate maybe what was going through his mind, but I don't speculate what was going through her mind.
All right,
Okay.
right. That's what I'm saying. What? Hey, I missed what you said. Okay. You think she had alcohol poisoning? Was she sick the next day at all?
I guess,
diarrhea.
She said earlier, yeah, she had upset stomach and whatnot. She said that, like she just
she
felt
had
like
the
really
beer gut.
sluggish. Yeah. But I just, again, like there's nothing found in the lab results. So, if she were drugged, it didn't happen like after she left the after hours party at any point in time, because every drink that she had after that was tested.
Any more questions or anybody want to at me that I may have missed? Because I know there's a lot of people in here. What?
I know there's a ton of questions. And we want to make sure that we answer any questions. And I want to reiterate this more than anything. We're not questioning whether or not SA occurred. We are questioning her story she presented in a video in September against the police report. That's all we did tonight, to show inconsistency.
Right, and her going after the police department like they were guilty of some kind of crime towards her.
She made the detective look like crap, honestly.
Yeah, And in September, all of her posts and her tweets and her Instagrams and everything, it was all like she was, doing this for the victims. She was being a voice for the victims and everything else. But the accusation she was making against the police was not for the victims. That was for her and for her alone. And in fact, that was hurting any potential victims in that community. That was my problem.
Right. And everyone can have a different opinion on how they feel about this. We totally get it.
Oh, yeah.
We're just giving you ours.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I knew
I don't
there
know.
would be people, with opposing opinions, and that's fine.
Yeah, I like hearing opposing opinions. I mean, there's so many times where I read or hear something that just never crossed my mind before, and it gets me thinking. Just I mean, I don't like being treated like shit or whatever, but I mean, just whatever the substance of it. I do enjoy reading that because it's not going to hurt me or anything that I'm doing. It's only going to add. It's only going to help.
Yeah, and what was it we said earlier? There's already enough tension with police and the public now, rightfully so. In
Right.
a lot of cases where people don't trust the police, let's not go after them and accuse them of stuff that's not true. Did she follow up? Did she follow up to see if maybe she feels that they didn't, but
I didn't
It's
see
one thing
anything.
to think it, but it's another thing to spread it across 130,000 people.
And this was weird for me because for years, like anything I posted or whatever has been largely like against the police, or police conduct or whatever. So this was actually weird for me to be on the other side. I don't know.
yeah.
But
Yep, and it's just Chad said it right. Everyone is entitled to their opinion respectfully.
Shroot.
Agree.
Shroot Farms. Does anybody else think? I thought of that about the hair bows, or I would have, but my dog actually picked up a hair bow before, so I'm not gonna make
Did
him.
he eat it?
He ate it. Yeah, he's eating a hair bow.
Mushy face ate it? Did it come out as in poop?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I mean, I don't know. I didn't look for it, but he threw one up. I know he's thrown one up before. He didn't poop it out. He threw it up.
Dogs eat the craziest things, don't they? What?
Sue M said, ask Aaron regarding the drinks in the home were they tested? Yes, they were tested. All the drinks she kept, I guess, for the police. That's what she said. It was 4 Blue Moon bottles and 1 can of Michelob Golden or whatever that's called, and all 4 bottles and the can were tested, and there was no controlled substances were found in any of them.
Right. Did it say in the report, did they go back and question like anyone from the party before or no? I guess
It didn't say.
April Penrod said my dog ate a whole thing of Q-tips. Holy moly.
oh my God.
That's crazy.
The detective did say though that he didn't. He said that pretty much her story of events and his story or timeline of events leading up until after the party were pretty much in line. So if they didn't question anyone, that could be why, because there wasn't really any question or discrepancy in either of their stories up until that point. The issue at hand happened away from any other witnesses, so maybe that's why. I don't know. I mean, it's someone who investigates or whatever, or isn't a detective, would be able to probably add more insight to that than me. So,
But can you also? I don't know how old this detective is, but imagine 14 years. Imagine being at work and all of a sudden hearing, because they had heard about the family getting called out and the businesses and everything. Imagine being the cop that worked the case 13, 14 years ago and being accused of being a dirty cop when you weren't. Imagine that. When, like, he's obviously not too bad of a cop. He still got the job at the same place 14 years later. Just imagine that.
yeah. And I mean, especially in a situation like this, because they're like the data privacy laws, it's not even like he can defend himself. I mean, he can't speak publicly about this. I mean,
Right. And you have a question from the chat. Tara McEwen said, did it say that the detective didn't believe her? She said he called her a liar.
yeah, no, he made no No, he gave no impression that he didn't believe her until he pointed out the discrepancy in her timeline on that one page there. It was after that that he started, just he wanted to cement it down better, just to see, what the timeline was and is she really wrong about this or whatever. And so he went back and double checked a bunch of stuff, and that's pretty much what happened. And then when the lab results came back on all the bottles and stuff in her home, he was like, there's nothing to support her story. In fact, there's some evidence that, disproves it. So I'm closing the case.
Irish wife said, new here, just curious, was she on any meds when this happened? Not sure.
I have no idea. Yeah.
Catherine with a C asks, is there anything in the report about the amount of alcohol that was in her system?
No. That would have been, if there was anything, that would have been like medical results and stuff.
It wouldn't have been available, but it was probably would have been too late.
Part of the problem is because she went 2 days later?
Yeah.
It wouldn't have made a difference anyways, right?
She went to the hospital the next day. So it was within 24 hours of, the event or whatever.
But they still wouldn't have gotten her correct alcohol level from the
right,
next
exactly,
day.
Yeah.
The next night, actually.
And this was 2007, too. So, testing was, I don't know how much different, but I'm sure it was somewhat different than it is today. So.
Right.
But, yeah, just testing the drinks in her home and everything, like, that's not going to, there's no blood alcohol content there, That's going to stay the same.
I would like to say that, would we even be questioning her story if she hadn't lied so many times in the past? She has a history of inconsistencies. And I hate to say it, but that makes you question everything she says.
Well, it was the timing of when she came out with it. Like, this is something that happened to her. It absolutely happened to her because there are police reports. But she came out with it when she got doxxed by this black web, and people were coming at her hard. So, what was her motive?
The dox bin. Yeah, the dox bin. Like, I questioned it because...
Not likely name edited.
Because, like, in her, like, natural form or whatever, I feel like she just went too far. She pushed it too far with... she started the video with telling her story, and then by the end of her series of videos, it was all about the officer. It was all about that. Like, that was where, like, all of her anger was, like, pointed at. And that's what got me questioning things.
Angry Ink says,
I would like,
and
I've got it. In an SA case, any open container and any containers that are used for ingestion of a date rape drug within the property are individually photographed, tagged, and tested. Yes. And it was noted. What do you have to say about that, Erin?
Yeah, that's what happened here. They brought in the bottles, the containers themselves, and they tested, like, all the fluid that was left in each of them. So everything there's like a what's the word I'm looking for?
I read it. It was the amounts in every bottle. It was like 10 mil in one, 1 mil in another.
The chain of custody. That's what I'm looking. There's paperwork for the entire chain of custody and everything. So
who touched every piece of evidence, right?
Right, exactly. So
I would like to say that alcohol's a hell of a drug.
Yeah, it is.
You can black out on alcohol and not remember a damn thing, because I've done it before. But then you can smoke pot and be fine, no matter how wasted you get. It's crazy how alcohol works on you.
Yeah, and you can eat shrooms too and be fine too. It's crazy.
I've never done that yet, but I've heard they're fun too.
So the chat saying she's gonna be mad if we got reports. She will be mad.
They said there's a tornado coming. I saw that comment. I believe it. I feel like we're going to be in for a storm the next couple days, but we feel like we're doing what we need to do.
Right, and I'm expecting some backlash, absolutely. But I do want to stress that anything I'm saying or anything I found, it does not disprove her story. It doesn't prove her story either. There's no additional insight there. And in fact, if anything, this kind of led me to just sympathize a little bit more with her, because like I said earlier, the whole shit with her parents on their anniversary, like I don't know why that didn't jump out at me in September, but it jumped out at me over the past couple days, and like
It did
I
me
would
when
I
I heard it. It just made it
yeah
kind of like, because the first time I heard her story, I thought she didn't tell people. And then to hear that part, I felt sad for her. When I didn't hear her say it. I'm sure she did now because I've seen that she's talked about it. But when I first saw that they went there, and for the anniversary, before I saw that she said they made sure he wouldn't be there, regardless of whether he was going to be there. That's if you're so against his businesses now, his family's businesses now, why would you go
Can
there
I
then?
ask a question?
I felt bad for her.
yeah,
Yeah.
like that broke my
Even
heart
though
when I read it the past couple days.
even though
All right.
she can be big mad, she does this to people every day. So like we didn't do anything wrong.
So, date rape, someone said, Michelle Marie said, date rape drugs don't stay in your system very long, so it's hard to tell, even with a blood test. So, did the police report give any indication how long date rape drugs, I can't talk tonight, date rape drugs would be in a system? Did we have any,
They told her
any,
they told her when she got there that the nurse told her it probably wouldn't show up because they have a very short
Right, but that's all
but
according
I've
to
heard
Katie.
other things saying it's 72 hours they'll linger in your system.
date
Well,
rape
That you
drugs.
test for it? I don't know. That's what I'm
No,
asking.
other drugs
I
maybe, but I don't think a date.
I actually looked this up because I was thinking about addressing it in the blog post, but I decided not to because I don't feel like I'm anywhere near informed enough to really discuss on it. But what I did read, and I tried to find reading material or whatever from 2007, not from today. The closest I got was 2011, and what it said was like drugs like rohypnol can be found in urine up to 120 hours later.
So
However,
that's how many days? 3?
like
It's
four or
four. It's at
something.
least four.
However,
Oh, that's
like
way more than four.
GHB though, that drug, and as of 2011, according to this report, and I think the report was from the WHO. It said that that's gone like within 24 hours usually.
Which drug did
So
you say was that the last one?
GHB.
Is that ecstasy?
No, that's the
Um,
date. That's the roofie.
no,
GHB?
Which
I
one's
don't know what that
roofie?
one is.
Roofie is
um,
rohypnol. So
yeah,
it's the other one.
Roofie's rohypnol. That's actually a benzodiazepine.
Okay.
GHB, I want to say is like a tranquilizer maybe.
Oh,
Um,
okay. I have to ask because I don't know these things. Call me
it's
silly in my
it's a
old age, but I've never heard of it.
central nervous system depressant.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
I
that's
thought
what.
that they mixed. Mrs. Kerr said if she'd been given GHB, she would have overdosed and died mixing with alcohol. I thought that's what they put date rape drugs in alcohol.
She said, I know because I flatlined in 2012, not my proudest moment.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm so glad you
GHB.
pulled through.
Girl,
Yeah, no
that's
kidding.
brave for you to say. And
I love you.
thank you for giving us some information, though. We appreciate it.
Yeah, no doubt. And I hope that was the worst thing that happened to you too throughout that night. Really. Um, but yeah, from what I read, GHB with alcohol is definitely it can be lethal. Rohypnol with alcohol though isn't quite as lethal or isn't as
I
it's not
know.
really
We
that
watched.
lethal like
I'm just gonna try to make things fun again. We watched all the Hangovers. They're fine. They
it.
just wake up in weird places. I'm sorry. I had a joke. I just
I
like
agree with Kimber Joy. That is absolutely wrong of her parents to choose that restaurant, regardless of how true or not it affected her, and they should have taken their money elsewhere. I agree 100%. 100%.
hmm
I
And,
think Angry Yank has something to do with he's either
I think he's
a
a
lab technician or he works in like the
LEO.
police field somewhere or he knows a lot. I'm pretty impressed there, Angry Yank.
Mrs.
Putting
Kerr
out a
was
lot of info
partying.
for us. He's a smart pants.
Was it
And a
like
good
a
yeah,
one.
was that like a party drug and not a date rape drug back then?
what?
GHB, because I see people in the early '90s they took it, two
Yeah,
capfuls.
I think people like took that recreationally, kind of like they take ketamine.
Oh
Like
man. Isn't
I
that like
think
horse
it's
tranquilizers?
yeah.
Ooh.
I don't.
What are
Again,
people thinking?
personally, I don't see the point in taking either of those recreationally.
Me
Really,
either.
but I think that's the. I think people get the same kind of enjoyment out of it, like they get out of ketamine.
Who wants to take a? Well, never mind. I know people take them. I started to say who wants to take
And
tranquilizers, but I
everyone
remembered
something
the
like, oh,
Quaaludes.
you're a first responder. Thanks, Angry. You know your stuff, though. I'm impressed.
Mrs. Carey, you are a trip.
Oh, thank you, Angry Yanks.
And
Thank you for being a
Sheena
first
Living
responder.
Water says GHP is what, 8 hours in blood, 12 in urine. Is that right? Hours? Is that what you're saying, or days? Or I'm assuming
Yeah.
hours.
That sounds about right. From what I read. I'm not an expert. So
I've never been
Angry,
to a party
are
and been
you-
offered
Are you
GHP.
from the South? Because you're going, ma'am. Oh, he's so polite.
Who said that? Oh, Angry Yank.
Angry Ink. Yeah.
I want to
Called you
know
ma'am
how.
twice.
I think it was Tiny Dancer earlier was able to add Angry Yank and get it to. How did she do that? And it actually did his name, her name. Sorry, his name. Which is it? I don't remember. Mrs. Carey is
Bobby
like
Carey
X or something.
Kennedy says, just remind her that there's still a presumption of innocence for accused if she comes at you. Once again, we're not questioning her. We're questioning the
I mean, she went at the Duggar yesterday and said he absolutely molested his children,
Yeah.
and that's why
And remember,
they molested their sister.
divorced women are sluts. Don't forget.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe when she said that I died. Oh my God.
Who says that?
Who says that? Okay, I'll stop. Do we have any more questions in the chat? Mrs. Care says, Rohypnol takes a while to affect you. You have to metabolize it. I personally know nothing about it.
Yeah, one of them I read about. I don't remember which one it was. It said that it took like minutes usually to take effect. I don't know which one it was though.
Cano, what kind? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's it.
What kind of waiting room are you in, Cano? I don't see that. It must go like. Said I see she's in a waiting room. I was asking Cano, is she at the hospital or something? It's 9876. So it's only like 7 o'clock where she's at. So.
Oh, I saw something early that Cano said that she had to take her sister to the emergency room because she hurt her ankle or leg or knee or something.
Well, I know that was hard for her because she don't trust them medical people. She don't trust emergency rooms. She told us. You're a
But shit,
good
it's like
sister.
the last place I'd want to be right now.
Right,
really.
me too.
Right?
If you ain't gotta be,
I
don't
took
be.
my fiance in there after we both recovered from COVID because he was still having a ton of shortness of breath, and they said, you have to go wait in the car. I'm like, can I just, but I had it, and I just recovered. I think I'm pretty safe right now. Like, nope, out. So you can't go.
Yeah, you can definitely get it more than once.
I say my channel name just EKC. People suck. It's because those are my initials. So
I will get your link and share it with the chat.
actually I can do that because I have a wrench for the
Oh,
chat.
there you go. We want everyone to go check out Dottie.
And her blog link is up. She wrote a blog, has more details than we gave tonight.
Right. She'll give you more information in her blog post. And she's a great writer because I've seen your blog posts before and they're very good.
Thank you. You don't realize how much I enjoy hearing that, because when I first started, I realized quickly just how horrible I was and just how I probably barely
you
passed
weren't.
anything in school. No, really. No, when I first started, like 3 years ago, yeah. No, it was bad. Even now, like when I'm writing something, I have like several tabs open for like a thesaurus or definition, for dictionary. It's crazy. I have to put like so much effort into it. So hearing that just makes me feel like it's not all in vain. So thank you.
No, everyone go check it out because EKC has a way with words and her blog posts are really good. I've read quite a few of them actually. Just so y'all know, KJ went live on our
Sheena Living Water said number one rule I learned on YouTube.
Is that mushy face?
Yes, don't discuss personal life publicly unless you are prepared to have it discussed publicly. Yes. And Kano, your thumb popped out again, girl. That's my doggy growling at the voices coming out of the little box beside me. He don't understand. So there's her link. Y'all go sub, read her blog. And
yes,
who's doxing me? I'm just kidding.
who's doxing you?
I heard keyboards. Typing.
Mrs. Care says EKC has a great writing voice. You do, and I love your commentary on your videos. You were spot on.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of her uploads.
Crazy rant the other night. Who
I know.
says divorced women are sluts? What?
And when I was listening to the live chat from Wednesday night, you know, on Thursday there, and you were saying, I think it was you, Dottie, saying how like this was like the most off her rocker you've ever heard her, like Katie V, like you never seen her like just like crazy or whatever, and it was definitely one of the more, I don't know, manic times she was on a live on her Instagram there. I mean, I don't know. Every so often it seems like she gets like that, but yeah, this was definitely a bad one.
There y'all go. Cash boy. Y'all see? There's a delay. He's looking real hard at that green light. I'm done. He's done. He's so cute.
Oh, he is so cute. Oh my god.
He's got ear infection.
Oh.
He's on meds, on ear antibiotics, but he'll flap his ears back and forth, and they hit the top of his head so hard that they're swollen. And that can cause a whole nother issue called some kind of hematomas, where their ears look like what's it called? The fighters, the UFC fighters get the cauliflower. Yeah,
is that what it is?
it can. Yeah, basically he can get cauliflower ears from flapping his ears. So I had to give him some antibiotics for his ears.
Oh, Poppy, mushy face, come here.
Yeah, our Punchy gets ear infections kind of often. Right now she has a bad skin infection or something going on, and we have an appointment for her on Tuesday.
This is related to his allergies that I got accused of drugging him over when I was giving him Benadryl.
Drugging your dog,
right?
So you could sleep stream. Don't forget that now.
Yeah, and I should be reported to people because I drugged him.
Hey, KG, do anyone in this chat like whiskey? I like whiskey.
I don't, but I like Cheetos.
Give me some 7 and 7s. Give me some Kesslers. Give me some. Oh, I just had to pick. Sorry, guys.
Jess, I saw where there's a lot of support groups online.
Can I just say, one of the things that really struck me is that in the police report, she mentioned that he didn't leave his number.
Yeah.
Why did that come up? I'm so confused by that. That is kind of like a juxtaposition of this bad thing happened to me. Well, why did he leave his number? Why would you want his number to be left?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, we like whiskeys and Cheetos, KG. Yeah.
Yeah, that was towards the end too of the her giving her statement to the responding officer. He said, "Okay, is there anything else? Did you have any contact with Nick after this incident?" And she answers, "No. When he left, when I woke up and I saw that he was gone, it just seemed very suspect to me, and I thought maybe he would have left some contact information, but he didn't."
Yeah, and she says on her videos recently she never wanted to speak to him again.
Yeah.
When they accused her of being a jilted lover, I would never want to speak to him again. And yeah.
She says that Detective Mike there accused her of just being upset because, he left without leaving any information. She's like, well, why would I want his information anyway? And
But she said it.
And
she's the
Cole,
one who brought up right in the beginning.
I need to get on that uploads on either channel. I need to get on that. I've been busy.
Poppy. Yeah. I'll stop there. I was gonna say something, but I'm gonna retract my statement before I even say it. Sheena Living Water says it's sad, though, when supposed victims either change their stories or exaggerate their events because it makes some people suspicious of real victims. Not saying she isn't. Hope I made sense. You absolutely did, Sheena.
That's another thing. There's a lot of people that do question her story. I've never publicly questioned her story. I won't. But when you go about things the way she did, it does make people, and not just changing her story, because some people do, but she stated it as fact, like she doesn't have a memory problem. She came after them, she monetized it. Just the way she went about it and the timing of it made it questionable for a lot of people.
And I think maybe some victims do this in general, but I think maybe some people feel like their story in their mind isn't enough for them to feel the way they feel about what happened. It isn't enough for people to look at them and say, wow, you're right, that's fucked up. So I think that maybe some people feel like they need to make it sound worse than it was, but in actuality they don't need to. I mean,
No.
like,
And Kier, I'm sorry that happened to you. I'm so sorry. I'll see Tricia taking a break from all other drama channels. I still listen to you, but I am still a uni fan. Well, I love you anyway. I'll see Tricia for $7.99. Thank you for the super chat. I'm kind of perplexed how you could still be a uni fan. But I love you anyway. Sure.
All right, this was sent to me by Craft Happy Tammy in response to last night's video we watched.
In response to what?
In the response to the video of KJ's we watched last night. Look, it's M&M's and wine. How good is that? Yes, girl. Can you see it?
I do. I love it. And I didn't share her. Did she share her Whiskey Cheetos or her shirt, her little Red Jaw shirt on Twitter?
Yeah, she did share that with us before, with Whiskey and Cheetos. Thank you for sharing that with us, Tammy.
those M&Ms look really good.
I know, I could go for some chocolate right now, I'm just saying. Does anybody else have any questions for us? Did you get that last super chat, girl?
I did for $7. For $7.9. I did for Aussie Tricia.
Okay.
She's a uni fan.
Make
She told me.
sure that you got it. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Cash, stop.
Wow, Cash is a little whiny thing today, isn't he?
Yeah.
That's exactly what Punchy sounds like it's 7 times a day when she wants to go outside.
How did he get his name? You said he punches instead of shakes hands, right?
Yeah, when you say, give me your paw, he doesn't just put his paw out there, he puts it out there like jabs.
Right, Catherine. Last night, her picture was up on my screen and he had a fit. The end of her live tonight is worth having a look at. Which live?
Her live on YouTube. On her main channel.
I thought y'all said she went live again now.
I heard she went live on IG, but
Cash, stop.
we can take a lookie if you want, the
Super random Sunday night live stream.
Maybe not your favorite.
That
She went 49 minutes before she ended
months
it.
ago. I just tagging my videos.
How much of the last?
So I don't think Chris.
Our chat's not up yet, so maybe we'll watch 10 minutes or so.
Well, I'm going to call it a night because I have to put that blog post up still. And
Drop your link again, and thank you for coming and sharing.
Yes, thank you
Thank
for
you,
having me.
EKC. You rock the house.
Yes,
Thank
y'all
you.
go
So
sub
do
to
you
her.
guys. Well, all right. Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Good night. Thank you.
Record it, Sue M.
Mama T says someone just told her on IG Live right now they just watched a video. Ew.
That we just watched the video?
Did she watch ours? Oh,
Who said it?
I don't know. That's all I see.
I hope somebody's recording.
Mama T, who said it? Do you know?
Is she live
who
right
the
now?
vic-
Let me see.
or- For some reason, when I go to her Instagram Live, I can't see her live. What?
You blocked. That's the reason.
Obviously. That girl don't like me. Okay, so the person who went over there watched a video proving she lied. That's what she told KJ. KJ says she doesn't care and blocked the person. Dirty.
She said what?
The person who went over there said she watched a video proving KJ lied. KJ said she doesn't care and blocked that person.
That wasn't nice.
Of course, because that's what she does. She's all about the block, 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 block.
She already knew.
It's like
She already knew.
you only get one chance at it. You better go big or go home before you.
She's got
If
me
you're gonna
blocked.
say
over.
something to her, make it big, guys, because she's gonna block you anyways.
Oh, she found out my my account that she didn't know about, I guess. Dang it. Dang it. It's alright.
Wendy Nicole says the second one, the husband opens the door, lets the dog in, then lets out a big breath of air like he was irritated, and closes the door. A minute later, he lets the other dog in and she jumps offline.
Alright, we'll
Well,
listen.
apparently we're gonna be
What was
seeing
this
that.
about anyway? Maybe not your favorite. Definitely not. Let's listen.
I don't really know how long I'll be out. I'm not sure.
Because I'm getting my
I'll tell
nose
you
did
before
too.
it happens.
Because I'm gonna
might
come live the
drop off.
next day. Sorry, honey.
Thank you, Kiera, for staying and listening.
On with my voice. But you won't I won't be able to talk because it's just I can't. It's painful.
Heaven. I'm in heaven. When she can't talk.
She can't talk for 3 weeks.
I think that's an exaggeration.
We're gonna sing some songs. while
Someone
she's
just
gone.
said, go to bed, you're drunk.
Okay. I have removed that person only because we had our moderators ask them to move on, and I have just hidden them. They are welcome to message me privately if they have questions. But I've never actually seen them before. So they said they've been a longtime viewer of mine, and I've never seen that name before, ever. Like literally ever.
The admin's here, and I have people that just come and lurk, and they don't talk. And then
Sue said, I just told her to go to sleep. She's
Flagging your
drunk.
videos,
Good job,
Boo.
Sue.
Who's flagging my videos, Boo?
did you get booted, Sue?
You're starting Christmas decorating tomorrow. Oh my goodness.
Wonder if her doctor will take tips to make it longer.
You've been watching, and thank you for keeping me up to great on your tea. You're awesome, and I'm so glad you're back. Love you, KJ. Well, welcome.
Nurse Kimberly says
Back,
at 46
Marissa. I don't know
minutes.
who you
Yeah,
are.
but you
Well,
can't see the chat yet. It hasn't rendered or uploaded, so we won't be able to see it.
You're a student of
Okay.
medicine.
But if you want to go to 46 minutes of the video, that's where the fun starts, I guess. According to Nurse Kimberly.
At 45:54.
Behind the scenes of the show is so good. There's something very off with Wendy. She is on something. Her behavior is erratic and getting worse each day. Oh,
Can you pause it for a second?
she relapsed.
That Amber check says Sue is over there showing out. I'm about to join in too. Sue M says people are upset at me calling her drunk.
I can't believe you didn't
Food
get.
says ask her for
hidden.
Cat Aid a condom.
You're enjoying
Oh,
this too
yeah.
much, Dot.
I'm gonna stop. Sorry. Whew. Okay.
They're getting mad. Why ain't they blocking you? I don't get it. Some people she gives passes to. Maybe she's trying to not block.
We should call her Chinocchio, not Pinocchio. Chinocchio.
Cole got booted from her live tonight when he called her out for going after Little Red and smaller creators that fairly criticize her.
Cool,
Well,
thanks
thank you,
for sticking
boo.
up for us. We appreciate it. Now you gotta make another account. Dang it. Craft. Oh my
I see.
god, you guys.
I haven't
Oh,
watched
that's
it.
funny.
That's just literally what I read on those 2 articles. She was saying names wrong, and I think she's already divorced. People were saying that she looks out of it. Aw. That's really too bad. I'm gonna refrain from really saying anything other than what I just read. I haven't watched it. I haven't seen her. I don't want to make a comment on something I don't know anything about yet. So I'll take a look at it
Since
after
when?
I'm done with this live stream, and yeah, we'll go from there.
Alright, can we pause it for a second just because that's about that time? Pause. Bob and Carrie Kenny said, LOL, she got sued by Sue.
She
Someone
got
just told Sue
served
to
by
go to
Sue.
bed. And I think that Sheena Living Water says something really good. If she tells a story that doesn't match her report, she shouldn't be chastising the Duggars and state if he lied about his report, he would steal. She needs to look in the mirror and apply her own advice. I agree.
I mean, just yesterday or day before, she said that one detailed account was that it was over the clothes, and the next was they admitted it was under the clothes, whatever. So, right. If she's going to tell 2 different stories, she can't call people out.
Right.
No, you jinx me, sis Care. Let's listen.
Yeah, I honestly don't know. That's what they were her staff. That's why I was reading the article.
What is she
I wasn't
pointing
coming
at?
to an assumption. Please don't know that. Like,
What is she
I
pointing?
was reading an article.
What
Honestly.
the hell?
No, but you
What
put
the
all over
hell?
the place.
No,
Look at her.
that's
Is she
what it
drunk?
was.
No, really.
Knitting.
Wait. Was she drunk, really? That was funny.
She pointed literally all over the place.
Watch. Let's watch.
All the blame
Look at
goes
her
to
eyes.
everyone except me.
I honestly don't know.
Watch
That's
your hands.
what they were her staff. That's why I was reading the article. I wasn't coming to an assumption. Please don't know that. Like, I was reading an article. Honestly.
What is that?
Making assumptions.
Who does that?
That's why Todd went and got her off live. He's like, what the heck?
Oh, is there red in that straw? Just ask him.
Her straw's silver.
Yeah, I
You
don't
can't
know
even
what's
tell.
going on. I'll take a look after it. But I don't want to comment on it. But I'll take a look. Okay. Graves'
Oh, at
disease
your
is
doors.
hyperthyroidism.
Ooh,
Here we
that
go,
was a quick
y'all.
Open and close. Where's the puppy?
Oh, I don't know Jeremy DeWitt. Sorry.
Why is she being nice to them tonight?
She's awfully quiet.
If you're asking about my award, it's because I was already asked about it. This is the 3rd time I'll address this now. But
Wow,
you can always
she's
rewind
evil.
you can always rewind
Back
the
away,
chat. I
Satan.
have to go, you guys.
Oh, there goes the other dogs. There they are.
I hope you guys have a good night.
What time does
I
anyone
don't feel like the dogs like her. or
does
doesn't
anyone
like
know
Bob.
about what time that someone mentioned this video or someone seeing a video? Is that what changed her mood, or was she like that the whole time? Because that was not her normal. I'm gonna back up to see what kind of mood she was in at the beginning.
Yeah,
Claire Bear
don't feel
says
bad
she's
if
on
you cancel the
IG
membership
now,
over
even
there.
for slurring.
If you cancel it, you can always restart it when I go back there. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. Like, don't ever feel like you can't do something.
I hope someone's recording it for me.
I really wish I could see her on IG. Why can't I see her?
You're blocked.
Oh, that's right. I'm blocked on this one, but I thought I had one that I wasn't blocked.
I did too, and I can't find it. It's gone.
How many IG accounts do I need to make? My God. What the?
I think one just disappeared altogether from my stuff. There's one a whole account
See,
missing.
I don't see her. Freaking fracking. I had an IG account that she blocked that I never spoke to her on.
Sue, did you get it from the beginning?
No. Oh,
Sue's
Sue,
getting
you're
it for
getting
us.
it all. Sue, you rock the house.
Yeah, and I have Dropbox, and I have all kinds of stuff.
Yes. Leanne Ferguson says, if I were smart, I'd make an account with the name KJ's Manager. That's awesome. Don't you like how, like, passive aggressive she was with her reward? This is the third time I talked about it. Rewind. Wow.
And the first two, we didn't want to hear it.
Remember, like, how I kept telling, as, like, even like 20 minutes in, I was like, let's tell everyone what we're talking about. Just to recap. Because I know people join it certain times. Not everyone gets here at the beginning, and sometimes you have to clarify for people. You don't have to be a B-I-T-C-H about it.
Okay, y'all. We've passed 2 hour mark. We're at 2.5. So, right? 8, 9, 10. Yeah. So I think we're going to head out of here.
If you guys have any questions, you can feel free to DM Little Red or me. I will be more than happy to help out with questions. Make sure you go check out EKC. Check out our blog. The girl rocks.
Yes. And I appreciate her coming. And y'all have a good night, and hopefully see you tomorrow night. Dottie, I need to subscribe to Patreon?
Hang on with your girl.
No, Tammy, either or, whatever you like. Thanks for your membership.
No, you do not have to, Tammy.
No.
That's purely optional.
Patreon, Joey did for me in the very beginning. Way before I thought I would get member options so early, so soon.
No, you don't have to do anything. That's fine. We're just happy you're here with us. Tammy, thank you.
And thank y'all for coming. I'm sorry if we missed any.
You think like I think.
I'm sorry if we missed any chat or if I missed any comments. I'm sorry. I think I might have, my live chat might show on this one. I found something that might have changed it. Let's keep our fingers crossed. I love y'all. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you, everybody.
Have a great night. Oops.